Let's see if I can help. So it says, I'm currently in the car hauling industry, trying to get into freight industry. How can I acquire customers? Okay, so in the car hauling industry, just so you understand, auto hauling and car hauling is a niche in the freight brokerage industry. So there's two ways that people in that niche make money. They either go direct to car dealerships, used or new car dealerships, and they offer them a service where they are hauling a bulk of cars in like a car hauler. You've seen them drive down the road with cars stacked on top of cars, stacked on top of cars. That's one option. Okay. So you're going direct to buyers and sellers of cars, much like you are if they were making a product. So you would go direct. So that would be a very sales driven process. You would make a list. You would identify them, you'd make a list, you'd contact them, you'd phone them, you'd email them, you'd contact them through social media, and then you would go direct, and that would be more commercial car hauling. Now, the second component of that niche is more consumer driven, right? So this is where individuals need their cars hauled from point A to point B. So a lot of times you'll run into that with what they call snowbirds. So people that live in the Northeast or in a cold market, a cold climate, that during the winters will migrate to a warm market. A lot of people in the Northeast will move down to Florida for the winter for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months. And a lot of times they need their car hauled from point A to point B because they don't want to drive it down. They want to fly down. So you haul their car down, just one car, and you'll haul their car back typically, or maybe they'll fly back on the back end. But that's an example, snowbirds. You also run into it a lot with corporate relocations. So when large companies relocate employees, if you have, like Google has thousands of employees. So at any given point, employees are moving from one point to another. So a lot of times people are relocating. You probably wouldn't be contacting Google for that. You'd probably have to find the individual that actually has to move the car. The other is in the military. People move around a lot in the military. So those are a few examples. Now, if you're going to go after the person who's the snowbird or is the corporate relocation or is in the military, it's very hard to identify those people. So in most cases, what people do in order to do that is they advertise. So they either create a website and they SEO, they optimize their website for SEO, search engine optimization, and then they show up in the search results. Now that's the long way. The shorter way is to do paid ads. So you would do a paid ad campaign on Google or on Facebook or on Bing or wherever, and you would promote your auto hauling service. And then at that point, they search for auto hauling and your ad shows up. They click on it. They request a quote. You send them the quote. They accept the quote. And then you now have a customer, right? So that's the basic framework. So the long answer short is if you're going after commercial, you're going to have to contact them direct just like you would any other business. The second part of that, if you're going after the consumer component where they're relocating or they're part of the military or whatever the case may be, you're probably going to have to either develop some strong SEO where you're indexed by Google or the major search engine so people can find you based on the terms that they search for, or you're going to have to do paid ads. Okay? So I hope that helps, Hunter, but that's my scoop. Hey, if you enjoyed this Freight Broker Q&A, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to click the little bell to ensure that you get notified every time I release a new video. And if you have questions, make sure you add them in the comments below. And who knows, maybe I'll use one of your questions on a future Freight Broker Q&A.